This is my audience for my persuasive presentation. Okay, if you would, close your eyes and imagine with me for just a second. You're a middle-aged American citizen. You have a family. You're married. You got 2 children. You've worked your entire life. You've paid your insurance premiums consistently for the past 20 years. Well, you wake up one morning. You have a letter in the mail from your insurance company stating that your policy or your premium is going to double, triple, or maybe even canceled altogether. Well, you're going to suffer from this. You're going to go uninsured. But not only you, your spouse will go uninsured. Your children will go uninsured. Now open your eyes. Imagine how that might feel. Well, this has been a common occurrence all over the nation for the past several weeks. Hello, my name is Micah Davis, and today I will be talking to you about how ObamaCare is going to be potentially detrimental to the country, or to American citizens. I think I'm a credible source because I have done a substantial amount of research on this topic. And honestly, if anybody owns a television, they could consider themselves somewhat of an expert because that's all you see on television these days. Obamacare, Obamacare, Obamacare. Affordable Health Care Act, or ObamaCare, was put in place to make sure it was easier for American citizens to access health insurance or even afford health insurance. It was also put in place to make sure that people with pre-existing conditions could get health insurance and not be turned down for any reason, which is great. The bill, or the act, was started, partially put in place in early October 2013. It's going to be fully implemented by January 1st, 2014. Millions of people have already lost their health insurance because of this. Now you may be asking yourself, why is this happening? How can this happen? Because Obamacare, or the Affordable Health Care Act, was put in place to help people access insurance, help people afford insurance. But it's doing the exact opposite. And the reason behind this is the Affordable Health Care Plan, or Act, was there are certain requirements that your insurance company has to carry on you. Stuff like maternity care, all the way to, pediatric services. Well, just imagine if you're a male, a single male, you're not married, you don't have kids. Why do you need that? You don't need maternity care, you don't need pediatric services. You just don't need it, but you're required to have it. So, when you're required to have it, your plan is going to get bigger. So, the bigger the plan, the bigger the cost. It's just how it works. Now, the last few years, President Obama has stated time and time again, if you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan. Period. Now we know that's not the truth. Not entirely true. There's been several families the last, month or so that's gotten letters in the mail stating that their insurance policy is being canceled, or their premiums are going to skyrocket. So anyway,
that's due to.
That's due to them their health care plans not necessarily meeting Obamacare or the Affordable Health Care Act requirements. Now that I've talked about what Obamacare is and how it could possibly affect you, I'm going to move on to my next point, which is possible solutions. Well, the only real solution to this problem is a total repeal of the Affordable Health Care Act. Now, recently, there was a few Republicans that supported a government shutdown to try to force President Obama and his fellow Democrats to reconsider the Obamacare. Well, this was a very extreme solution. I don't necessarily think this was the route to go. And obviously, it wasn't very effective.
There isn't a lot one individual.
There's not a whole lot one individual can do to stop this. My advice to you is to go talk to your local congressman, tell him how you feel about it. If we all stand up and speak our mind on this subject. They can't ignore us. Now that I've talked about possible solutions, I want to move on to, what the country could be like in the next few years if this act isn't stopped.
Imagine if people.
Imagine if this act isn't stopped, what the country might be like. Your 4.2 million people have already lost their health insurance due to the Affordable Health Care Act.
What will that look like in a few years?
What would that number look like in a few years? I mean, it's 4.2 now. What's it going to be next year? Is it going to be 8.4? Is it going to be 16.9? What's it going to be? You don't know. Now I've told you more or less about Obamacare, and how it could be detrimental to society or to American citizens. I've done this by telling you what it is, how it could affect you, possible solutions, and what the future looks like if this act stays in place. Now that I've told you all this, I welcome you to make your own decision. And if you do agree with me, I would encourage you to go talk to your local congressman and let him know how you feel. Because if you agree with me and you do this, we can make sure that you keep your health care plan. Period. Thank you.